What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the final phase of the Remove, Protect, Replace series that I put together on keeping your interior looking good forever, or as long as we can make it. This video, we're going to replace the carpet. And yes, as you can see, carpet's already done. I don't know if you can hear it, but I've been sick for the past week or so I actually lost my voice. And while I was doing all the work, I couldn't really say much, which I know a lot of you probably like, that's good because you're an idiot, but whatever, I'm fine with that. So what I did was, I'm going to throw together a little montage of this when I'm finished. But for right now, I'm going to tell you kind of how it went and what to expect. So the company that I went through to get the carpet was stockinteriors.com. I know a lot of people said you can get this carpet from like Rock Auto for way cheaper, but this is what my simple search came up with, and a lot of people did go with this company. And I can say the carpet, it's a really good quality. I did go with the mass backing on it, which is like a rubberized backing to help with the heat, because that was my original goal with this, was to reduce the amount of heat coming up from the floor. That's why I did the sound and heat deadener and all that stuff. So yeah, the carpet, it's really good quality. There's just a heck of a lot of it. So if you're under the same impression I was, when you order this, it does come as a kit. I got the front and the rear, so it is two pieces. You also put in all the information of your vehicle, you know, automatic trans, manual trans, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. I was assuming, I know this is probably crazy, but when I was getting it, that would probably already have the holes cut in the trans tunnel for everything. That is not the case. What you receive is pre-molded carpets. The front and the rear, they are pre-molded, but there's no holes cut in it, and there's no markings anywhere on it on where to cut the holes. Under further investigation, what I found was they say to take your old carpet and then use that as a template for the new carpet. Unfortunately, my carpet, I had to get it out of there. It smelled awful. It was coming up in pieces, and I just cut it out, so I didn't have that option. Could I rewind this and try it again and not do it that way? Maybe, but at the time I had no idea, and that was fine. The biggest problem with it is when they send this out, it's like a huge blank. So there's a lot of carpet that needs to be trimmed off. And the other problem that I found was up on the transmission tunnel. When I finally got it up onto there and started making the small holes to get the shifter and the e-brake and the four-wheel drive through, the tunnel itself had a lot of extra material to it. So up the center, I had this huge ball that I kept having to push down. Now, I know a lot of you out there, there's probably a couple that have done interior work before and upholstery. I have not. So this was kind of a beginner's guide to it. If I could do this perfectly every time with no problems, probably wouldn't be a truck driver. I'd be doing interior on cars somewhere. You can do it. I've done it. It's not terrible, but it is a little overwhelming, and it is kind of hard to work with. Now, a lot of that is probably because of the mass backing that's on it. It makes it really stiff. I tried to lay it out as best I could, and then I had the heat on the garage. I had the heat on in the back room really warm to kind of warm this up and get it back into shape. It's not a terrible project. If you are considering do it, I mean, go ahead and do it. I mean, why not? You know, the old carpet was awful. The old carpet I had was tan, so I did switch over to black because I do prefer black better. You know, it's not a project that you guys, if you just kind of, oh, I don't want to get into it. I mean, you know, if your carpet's bad and you want to replace it, trust me, it is doable. It just takes a lot of time. The only tools that I really needed working with the carpet was just a really sharp razor blade, so I could trim it out. It cuts really easy, and it doesn't, once you cut it, it doesn't fray off and start falling apart. Once you cut it, it's a good line. Like I said, the quality of the carpet is really good. I just wish there wasn't about a limousine's worth of the carpet, you know, material there. Besides from that, being so big, there were a couple places where I cut it too big, and I had to kind of rework a patch piece in or something like that, but you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not the best at doing this stuff, but I just want to show you guys that it is possible. You know, one of the spots is right up here behind the center console, and then on the side. But I mean, the seat blocks the one side, and the center console pretty much overlaps the rest. So yeah, there's gonna be flaws to it. Like I said, I'm not a professional, you know, automotive interior person, but it is doable. The other problem that you'll have are these. these are your seatbelt bolts. So, you know, unless you got a torch or something to help get them out. Mine did come out. I just used a big long cheater bar on it and got them out. But having to take it on, take it off, take it on, take it off, it started to eat up the ends. After some searching online and searching at local parts stores, I found that the automotive parts stores in town, they don't carry this piece. And you can, you know, a lot of people say, well, just run out and grab a bolt and stick it in there. So that was my thought, but the problem is this is a safety device, it's a seatbelt, so I want to make sure that the original bolt goes back in. Now, I can reuse these, they will go back in, but the heads of them, it's a T50 Torx, they're pretty eaten up. So if I try to really torque them down to get them back in, it's probably going to eat them out, and then we're really in trouble. I did, however, find through a couple searches and then talking to some companies, I did find a part number for that bolt. Hopefully it is on the way. I'll put the part number down in the description of what it is and where I got it from. I'm hoping it is the right piece. We will find out. Like I said, it is on the way. That's why the back seat's not in just yet, because I want to get seat belts put back in. But other than that, it's finished. So besides from that, you know, like I said, the other hardest part was just you got to get all the interior panels out and then just trimming it. Because like I said, this carpet, it goes, I mean, it was all the way up to the windows almost. There was a huge pile of carpet over here and I'm looking at that I had to remove. So just take small cuts out, work it in there, and then put your panels, have your panels handy so when you're putting them in, you can fit them and make sure that it's what you're cutting off isn't going to be too much like I did up there in the center console. So, you know, lessons learned, but whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put together a little montage of me putting this carpet in case, you know, for you guys that are curious on doing this kind of project. That way you can see kind of how I did and what went into it. Like I said, it's not a terrible project. It is a lot, you know, more of a involving project than I had originally thought it was going to be. But yeah, if you are considering doing it, I'd go ahead and do it again. If I was going to do it again, I'd do it again. You know, knowing now what I do know from doing this one, you know, the second time around probably be a lot easier, of course. Highly recommend maybe have somebody come over and help you, because there are times you kind of got to fold everything on top of itself to make a small cut underneath. So if you had somebody else there to help hold it down, it's going to make it a lot easier. But it is doable by yourself, because that's how this one went in. That's going to do it for this one. Like I said, stick around. I'll put together little clips of this going back in. Also coming up next, we're going to get that air compressor kit in. To have onboard air on this thing is going to be super awesome out on the trails. It's going to be a whole process of building that. I went with the Vi-Air kit. It's the complete kit, the pump, all the hoses, comes with the tank so it can run portable tools. It's not going to be like as if you were hooked up to a huge compressor at home, but it will give you enough power to, you know, break lug nuts loose or use some kind of an impact or anything like that. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you in the next video.